Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the score was 128-110, and the Lakers lost to the Golden State Warriors in San Francisco Chase Center. Oh, man, I didn't see a whole lot of the second half, to be honest with you guys. I was doing the whole cook, eat, clean dishes thing. I just couldn't look at the little screen here, but the game was pretty much over there. It really was. We never came back from that run that they ended the the second quarter on. We just kind of hovered around a 12-point deficit pretty much the rest of the game. And it was a lot of garbage time in the end in the fourth quarter. Anthony Davis, I believe, walked away with like 27 points, double-digit rebounds as well. Austin Reeves, I believe, had like 17 points or something like that. Had a little bit of a leg thing. I'm not going to call it an injury, but there was some discomfort there. He was pulled out of the game in the third, I believe it was. You got to keep an eye out for that. Wow. What else? D'Lo had a very bad shooting night. He was one of the guys that I think suffered the most from having an all-star break because he just came back flat. And I know he was working hard during the all-star break too. I saw footage, so I know he was trying to stay sharp. But it was a very bad shooting night for D'Lo, even though he walked away with like 18 points. And I believe 9 assists or something like that. Steph Curry lit us up. He had like 32 tonight, shot very well. Clay, on the other hand, was pretty terrible, 1 of 9. I don't know what else that's the Warrior business. Trace Jackson Davis, man, he really looked good out there for the Warriors. And Andrew Wiggins, of course, killed us as always, as predicted, because Wiggins always plays well when the Lakers are in town. I thought Kuminga had somewhat of a quiet night, even though he had some serious dunks, but it was really about Trace Jackson Davis tonight. Even Draymond had a quiet night because of how loud Trace was out there against us. What else? Rui Hachimura, like 3 of 8, but he really had some defensive issues. Worst plus minus on the team with like a minus 24, so coach kind of got away from him. I thought Taurean Prince played pretty good, but there were times where people were just running past Taurean as usual. We were just flat, man. The team was flat. No LeBron James. We're working Max Christie back into the game. And, he looked like he had a lot of time off. He looked like he's coming back from injury. Definitely not his best game tonight. He's going to have to work on ways of getting around people on the offensive end. I'm not a basketball player, so I couldn't tell you what it actually is that he needs to be able to do. But he's having a hard time getting around people. Every shot he takes is highly contested, and it's because he can't get past anybody. So if it's working on his dribble, working on leg strength, I don't know nothing. Hips, I have no idea, but he's going to have to get faster. He's going to have to get stronger. He's going to have to get faster, and I don't know how much of that is contributed to him just coming back from injury, of course. But if I remember correctly, he probably had that problem before. And I know he's not lacking in athleticism, but for whatever reason, to my eyesight, his first step just ain't getting it done. He can't get past anybody. He's always fighting for his life, trying to get a shot off. So that's something I noticed tonight. We're just going to have to work with Max and get things together. Jalen Hood-Schifino is struggling, man, but I did like the fact that the last 3 that he shot in garbage time fell, but he shot so poorly out there in the fourth quarter. I know what Laker fans are thinking when they see him, but I was encouraged by that final 3. It looked sharp. It looked on target, and hopefully he can build from there. But boy, does he look bad right now. And I guess what's on my mind is garbage time minutes, because obviously that's what I just got through watching. And I was paying more attention to that than any of the other third quarter, fourth quarter minutes. So for me, I like what I saw from Skylar Mays on one play where he dribbled past somebody, did a little crossover, crossover layup. I mean, it was really, really spectacular stuff, man. I would love for coach to try to find a way to work him into the equation a little more. Spencer Dinwiddie looked pretty good. Only player on the team, if I'm not mistaken, with a plus minus. I think it was like +4 down there with 18 minutes of play. I don't remember exactly how much he scored or assisted, but I do remember that plus minus. And I thought Jackson Hayes was pretty good out there. I thought we had some defensive issues, but I thought we should have fed him a little more offensively, since he has fantastic touch and draws fouls very well. I do think that's the best way to utilize him in unlocking his defensive effort too, is to make sure he's getting the ball on the offensive end. And I think we're on the upswing with him as well. I hated that the All-Star break came for him too, because how well he was playing. What else? What am I missing out there? Anthony Davis he had a pretty good game, I guess, but it didn't equate to us winning. I thought there were times we should have got him the ball, and the announcers mentioned that on TNT. Austin Reeves missed him on a play and stuff like that. So we just got to try to take advantage of Anthony Davis when he has mismatches. I didn't think we did the greatest job of that. But at the end of the day, it just came down to our team being rusty and not having Bron, and then trying to work Max back into the equation with him being out even longer than the All-Star break itself. So, that kind of stuff, you just understand you're not going to play well. It's not like I'm sitting up here throwing stuff, not tonight. It's just you're going up against a team that you beat in a double overtime game that they'll never forget. Because they lost it. And so when you come back into their house about 3 weeks later and you don't have Bron, they're going to come in with a certain level of urgency that they didn't have in the last one, especially Steph Curry. You saw how angry he was at the end of that game, that double overtime. So I expected them to beat us. I wasn't going to say that, but I expected them to come in with a certain level of intensity, and they exceeded ours. They didn't look as rusty as we did, and that's really the gist of it, to be honest with you. Coach, and the rotations, I don't think I saw too many rotation issues per se. But as I said at the halftime video, there was a moment where I thought he should have called a timeout when the lead started to spread in that first half, and he did not. And it ended up going to 11, and I don't think we got much closer than that after that. And that's why it's so important you call those timeouts to stop the bleeding. Because once you get a certain distance from a team, not only is your team getting it in their head that they're starting to lose, but the other team starts seeing the ball fall in rhythm. And when you call that timeout when the spread is already at 9 against a team like Steph Curry and them and Golden State, Podziemski hit 2 threes in a row, you don't call a timeout, and then Wiggins starts getting it going, and you got Trace down there. We had no answer for him. So the Lakers are going to have to find a way to manage their center position, man. And I really do think calling up Castleton is a very wise decision right now. It's very wise. Get him on the roster and play him, because if you don't, you're going to likely be running AD and Jackson Hayes into the ground. And even though Jackson Hayes is playing better, you don't want to rely upon him at that center position right now without having anybody, a third guy back there. So for at least the next week, while we're waiting on Christian Wood, or 2 weeks, however long it's going to be, we have got to call up the Castleton. I really think that's very important. What else, man? What am I missing? I don't know. I just thought the team was rusty, and I really thought that if we would have had Bron out there, it'd probably been a lot easier for us to not get down by so much for which we couldn't return. Not the game for him to sit. Not the game for him to sit. I'd rather him have sat tomorrow, even though we did lose the last game to the San Antonio Spurs, so it's no guarantee you're just going to beat them. They're playing a back-to-back as well tonight, for which I saw Devin Vassell was kicking tail at halftime. But, you just don't want to underestimate the importance of beating a team like the Golden State Warriors when you could very easily see them in the playoffs or be fighting for them in the play-in tournament seeding circumstance or what have you. You just don't want to play around with home court advantage. And I just thought that we kind of took that for granted tonight and dropped this game. And maybe if we had Bron out there, maybe we don't. Maybe we don't have as much struggles trying to get buckets, since that's what he really brings to the table right now. It's just overall easy buckets and offense all day. So it's like when you don't have that 30-point Bron out there, and other guys are trying to get things done, and they're just taking on tougher defense. So for me, that was kind of to be expected. When you got that type of motivating factor with the Golden State Warriors and what they had going on against us, and then you come in without Bron, hell yeah, they're going to be licking their chops, because they felt like they could have beat you with Bron on the floor. So it's like, I don't know, man. That's the game where you definitely call timeouts. I listened to Trevor Lanes mention many times what Darvin Ham's theory is behind not calling timeouts, is to keep them available so that Bron can have them at the end of the game. Well, no Bron, why? You know what I'm saying? So for me, I just feel like we got to get better at stopping the bleeding, because if you can keep it close and keep guys from seeing the ball fall as much as they did in a flurry, maybe this game goes in a different direction. But once you start seeing the ball fall for yourself, you're not going to want to, look back. And they didn't have to, you know what I mean? And our defense and our offense was just rusty. It's not the night to just let the bleeding go, man. This is not the night to just see if the team can pull themselves back into it. They can't. They're trying to work in too much newness for you not to be stopping the bleeding. That's what it really came down to. Too much newness. Too many guys missing in rotation. That's not when your team is fully healthy and you've been running stuff in practice. Then maybe in that circumstance, in my opinion, it's like, all right, let's see if they can figure themselves out. But in this situation, when you got so much new stuff coming back and guys sitting out and rotation's a little different, and new guy just came in 2 weeks ago and all-star break and all that, coach got to know, hey, yo, this is a night where I got to coach the team in a sense where if we go down by 6, I got to call a timeout. They get 2 shots in a row, we definitely call a timeout. To reel it in, to put familiarity on the floor, to try to run a play or something of that nature. And I thought Darvin Ham missed a chance with this one to really have a good coaching night. And so, y'all know I'm much more hard on Darvin Ham. Everybody's coming back from All-Star break, but, I guess it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So that's really my take on this game. Not too much for the stats. We shot poorly from behind the arc all game long. I don't think we walked out of there. I think it was, 28% from behind the arc, I believe that was. Can't beat Golden State that way. 48% from the field. 11 turnovers, if I'm not mistaken. Not so bad there. That's not the worst thing in the world. To their 9, though. And I don't think they turned the ball over very much in the second half because I believe they had like 8 turnovers at the half or something like that. So Golden State really took care of the ball in the second half, and our defense was not very effective just the same. Yeah, Max Lewis dunked the ball like crazy tonight. One of the best posters I've seen in the G League. Just wanted to throw that in there because I'm trying to pay more attention to what's going on in the G League because I really want us to call some of them dudes up. And I just saw that poster. It was phenomenal. I encourage everybody to go on IG, check out South Bay and see that dunk. He's getting off the ground. And so Jalen Hood-Schifino should have been there with him. He's not ready, man. If I'm just being honest, Jalen should be in the G League at least for the rest of the year, probably for most of next year too, man, to develop him properly so he doesn't start having confidence issues because that's exactly what I'm seeing. He needs to go through the Austin Reeves program. Or not Austin. That's the wrong name. I'm thinking Alex Caruso. Remember how we developed Alex Caruso and had him in the G League for like 3 or 4 years? That's exactly what we need to do with Jalen. Get him acclimated into not only being a Laker, but just being an NBA player, man. Because the lights are bright, the pressure's on, and he looks bad, like really, really bad. And it's no need for him to be a bust when we have such a fantastic G League program. There's no need for him to go down that path of just getting labeled a bust and then throw away the draft pick. Hell no. We developed way too well here. Way too well here for us to have our 17th overall pick just flat out bust because we're throwing him out there and he don't have no confidence. He don't have no confidence. His mechanics trash. And those are workable. There are fundamentals there within him to make him a first round pick. So all we need to do is just send him over there and let him continue to play well. Because down there, he was playing well. He had really good games in the G League. But you call him up, put him in garbage time, and he looks absolutely awful. And so I don't have a problem with that. I'm fine with that. Sometimes rookies start their careers terrible. But if you develop them properly, you're going to get the most out of them. Develop him properly, please. Stop throwing him out there. That should not have been him down there tonight. He should have been in the G League. And that should have been the center, Castleton. That's what the Lakers need to do. Call Castleton up, man, and put him in there to try to help mitigate some of these size issues because we don't need another point guard. Not right now. Not this season. We just don't. You got Dinwiddie. You got Skylar Mays, who I think needs to be in regular rotation. You got, obviously, D'Lo. Obviously, Austin. What do we need Jalen on the big team for? That roster spot needs to be a center right now. Call up Castleton. Send Jalen back. So that's what I have to say, man. No bull crap tonight. I'm not going to be overly harsh because at the end of the day, we are back fresh from the All-Star break. And we were shorthanded quite a bit tonight. But I think some of that stuff just needs to be shored up, man. Some of the stuff our guys were doing, it really was rust. It really was just a break and how it kind of took us, it shook us off the sharpness of what it is we've been doing these last 3 weeks. So I hated it. I told y'all that before the All-Star break, and now that we're back is exactly why. This is why I was not enthused about the All-Star break, because I knew we were going to come back and look like this. and we didn't go out looking like that at all. We were playing our best ball, arguably. So, yeah, man, blame it on that. If you ask me, blame it on Bron too, man. He should have played. Having him out there tomorrow, knowing he'll be fine tomorrow, but couldn't go tonight, it really didn't help matters at all. We really need that stabilizing force. Just so, because of all the newness and all this other stuff and everything that I've already mentioned, it's important that the first game back, he'd be out there next to AD. And if that were the case and you got regular Bron stats and regular AD stats, it's a different game. It just is. So, if I'm going to give the game ball to anybody, of course I'm giving it to Curry, man. Just got to go to the chef. He cooked us rather easily. Honorable mention goes to Trace Jackson Davis, who was also fantastic with his minutes. But as far as our team was concerned, C+. I don't think we played. I'm not going to say we got a fail or a D and nothing like that. For the rust and what we were doing and how we were trying to work against it, I think we were fair. You know what I mean? Guys did the best they could going up against a motivated team that didn't have anybody missing. They didn't have those problems. You know what I mean? And that's really what it comes down to. So that's pretty much what I got to say. My name is BDL44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.